just again to reiterate, Running Club is going to be great if you can make it on a Wednesday, and it is kicking off this Wednesday, 7:30 by the water tower. We'll send you a little email and it'll be details on the web. One important thing is you would have got on your way in one of those questionnaires about your ability to run. It's called the PAR-Q form, and it's just got a number of tick boxes. You know, do you have psychotic episodes? Have you ever killed anyone with your bare hands? And if you fill in that, bring it along to Running Club, it means that we've got the help that we need to make sure that you're cared for. Okay, earn your T-shirt. We have shown faith in you. We have taken a gamble on you. We've gone out on a limb for you. We gave you, without asking for any kind of evidence that you can come through, we gave you a Love Running T-shirt. Now, you have to earn it. You have to earn it. You have to show that you can wear the shirt. And you wear the shirt by bringing in funds that we're going to give to the poor, the oppressed, and the needy. And I'm going to announce our target for today, for this year's Love Running. It is £80,000. Now that's the target we're going for, and you should feel awed because it is an awe-inspiring target. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally upfront. We have 500 runners. If we were to go with the average, that the average person that does the Bristol 10K year in, year out raises for charity, we would raise a target total of, this is what we would aim for, we would aim for £30,000. That is the going rate. That is what we would expect to raise with this number of people. You can talk to professional fundraisers, that's the figure that they will give. We're not going to double it, we're going to almost triple it with 80,000. It might be because we've already raised 320,000 and a total of 400,000 is a nice round number. I don't know. But I just think we can do this. This is something to go for. So I'm going to interview one of our top fundraisers over the last 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, would you give a huge round of applause for Mr. David Long?
Hi.
Hi, Dave. How many times have you done Love Running?
So this will be my third attempt. I did it last year for Wallace and Gromit Appeal, but so it's my fourth run.
Fourth run, third Love Running?
Third Love Running.
And how much have you raised?
So I think I've raised in total about £2,000 to date, so that's for the 3 runs.
Wow, incredible. And tell me, what when you did this, had you done anything like it before?
No, 2010 was my first ever run. Hate running, love running sort of attitude.
Okay, so you've got bipolar towards Love Running.
Yeah, I think I find running a challenge. And I do actually enjoy when I get to around the 5th week of the training plan because I do actually start enjoying it. So
Great.
yeah,
well, that's encouraging.
You do de-stress and you get fit and you do sleep better. So yeah, it's
okay. So there you are in a black tutu, black swan style.
That's awesome. That.
Can you tell us what's your approach been to raising money?
So I think you need to be open with people. One example is I think. Just go back through your history and think of all the people you've met, get all their email addresses into Excel and just do a mail merge really. You don't have to do a mail merge, just set up an email and make it personal. So just say, hi Dave, I'm doing this for X, Y and Z, and then just send it out. So that's how I've raised my initial, £170 so far. 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
So you've raised already £170 and we haven't even started Love Running. You've already gone way above.
I think that's based on a single email as well, just a mail merge. So I sent out about 100 emails to people, just telling them about all the causes. So if you make it quite a long email, a nice little read, you'll get about 10% return in that, I think.
I'll talk to you later. We need you on the team. Okay, that's really embarrassing, asking people for money. I mean, that's just social death, right? Yeah,
I don't really go up to people and say, hi, Philip, 20 quid, please. It doesn't work like that for me. I just email people. I might follow up with a conversation, maybe 2 weeks before the race, but I actually do send follow-up emails. So I basically start with an initial one and say, hi Dave, doing this, this and this, and then say, following from my previous email, give them a bit more detail on my training and where I'm getting to, and a bit more on the causes really. But I think the old-fashioned sponsorship form do work. I've used those for people that are a bit scared of the tech stuff. Oh, I don't want to do it online, I don't like it, and all this sort of stuff. So if you just hand out the form and keep that handy as well, that's useful. One thing is also good to bear in mind is fund matching. So many companies do fund matching. So they'll say if you raise 300 quid, we'll match it. So it's worth finding out within your organisations whether they do that, because that bumps your total up a bit more.
That's a really good point. And sometimes companies have company policy whereby they'll fund match for certain things but not others. And so if you say, actually, one of our charities is, if they say, we're not going to get involved with Syrian causes because it's political, then you say, well, actually, we're doing homelessness. Okay, well, that's on our list. And we can say, fine, their money will only be given to the homeless charities, for example. And you also mentioned about old-fashioned, old-school sponsor forms. Most of us will be using web-based things. We're going to go with Virgin Money Giving, and I'll explain about that later. But you can also use paper forms, and they work well. Yeah,
paper forms work really well. I think I raised 100 quid 2 years ago in forms, so that's a good use. So I think you've got your old classic forms, text messages, so go through your text contacts, make those personal as well. You might get a return from that as well. It's not always likely, but it's worth a go. Online fundraising, Facebook, Twitter, all those things, just keep tweeting, really.
Keep tweeting, you heard it here. Any other things? I mean, for example, the tutu, explain.
So I think if you say to people, yeah, if I raise like 500 quid, I'll wear a tutu. And then you've got to buy a tutu. And then you think...
We've all done it.
That was £15, so I've got to make it worthwhile, so I'll have to wear it again. So, and if you threaten to wear a wig on the day and say if you raise £800, then wear a wig. That sort of thing gives people that kind of attitude, well, he's willing to go out and look a bit stupid. I'll give him some money for these causes.
Fantastic. Anything else that you can give us as a little tip?
Yeah, I think, as I said, emails are the main thing. So I wouldn't spam people. I would encourage people to say, keep it personal. I wouldn't say hi all, or just say, I'm doing this running. You need to make sure these emails are personal, because otherwise, it shows you're making an effort. And I think one thing to finish on, I think you need to invest time, as well as training time. You need to invest a bit of time actually in your fundraising, because if you don't invest time...
Because sometimes people leave the fundraising light to the last week and don't get as much as they could. So what does it mean to invest time? So
I think, for example, for the first X amount I've got there, it was basically an hour of my time setting up a mail merge, thinking of all the people I've known in the past. One example is a guy I used to work with probably about 20 years ago, just donated £50 out of the blue. And then I emailed him again 3 years later saying, I'm doing this again, and then £50. So, I've not seen this guy for 20 years. So it's a good thing to go back in your past and think about people that may donate.
Wonderful. Let's give him a round of applause. Thanks. I'm just going to go through just a few things. And this is the principle that we tell people in Love Running every time. Listen to this. It's true. People want to give. Turn to the person next to you and say, people want to give. Okay, now turn to them and say, no, seriously, they really do want to give. My philosophy is that when we look at the news and when we read the papers and when we see the devastation around us, we want to give. We want to do something. People genuinely do want to give. Our job is to help them to do that. Is to believe that actually, even though it might be a little bit embarrassing to make that approach, they really do want to give. And so we're going to give people an excuse. We're going to be a lightning rod, if you like, for that person's generosity and their giving. So here are ways in which you can help them give. First of all, connect with you. What David was saying was you keep it personal. In a sense, I think this is to some extent true. People are more willing to follow a person than they are to follow a cause. Some of you are here because a person asked you rather than love running. And when we connect with a person personally, it engages us. And so allow people to connect with you. Actually, some of that tutu stuff, it's a way of David being himself. I wouldn't do it, but it's a way of saying, look, I'm a person, I'm giving myself. This is not my kind of thing. And when you're honest and when you're open and when you're vulnerable and you say, look, do you know what? I feel a little bit embarrassed. It feels a bit icky asking people for money. But honestly, if those were my kids, I would be screaming, asking for help. So would you help me? Particularly as this is not easy for me. Be personal, be real, be open, be vulnerable, but share yourself. Okay? Give of yourself and allow people to connect with you in whatever ways that you can. Don't give out just a generic line. We'll provide you with sort of tips and ways that you can phrase things, but really make it your own and share your own heart. Secondly, help them connect with the causes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to release to you over the next few weeks more and more information about these causes. We're not going to bombard you right at the beginning, but we're going to allow you to get a handle on Syria, Uganda, and the Bristol charities. We've actually had one of the key leaders from Uganda come over and we've done an interview with him. We've got the director, the executive CEO of World Vision UK. We did an interview with him just last week and he actually is running with Love Running. He's just come back from a number of the refugee camps in Lebanon and in Turkey, I think was the other one. No, it was Jordan. And he said, Philip, I've been involved in the charity development sector for 25 years. I have never seen anything like this. If you raise money for Syria, I will run with you. An international executive leader. And so what we want you to do is to pass on some of that stuff. We'll post videos like the one that we just showed earlier. We'll post them on the web. You can then share them on your fundraising pages. And your job, in a sense, is to speak on behalf of those children, to speak on behalf of those communities in Uganda, and to speak on behalf of communities around Bristol. Okay? So it's not just sponsor me, I'm running, but it's, hey, listen, in one sense, forget me. This is for the greatest humanitarian crisis of the 21st century. Help us, help them, okay? So help people connect with the causes. Thirdly, use humor, okay? Sure, they're massively distressing issues, but we can be light in the way that we engage, which again is why the tutu thing is quite a sweet thing to do. And just actually not taking yourself too seriously. Liam, is Liam still here? Yes. Liam Owen wrote the funniest blog I have ever read in my life when he first did Love Running in 2009. I mean, it was hilarious. He talked about his runs. He talked about chafing. He talked about all the kind of the embarrassment of training. And I was hooked. It was the funniest thing. I think I sponsored him about 3 times just because I was so entertained by him. So do use humor. Don't be afraid because it's solemn issues to be humorous. Fourthly, be creative. One of the things that David didn't tell you is that one year, the first year he did it, he actually produced a T-shirt with a Q code. You know those funny squiggly ones that you point your phone at and it takes you places? He had a Q code of his fundraising page for Love Running. And so when he ran past people, they could just take a picture and it would take them to his page. There's loads of ways to be creative. If you sponsor me X amount, I will run backwards. If you do this, I will dance on my head. Whatever. Be creative. Think of great ways. And actually, we want to provide you with lots of creative tools like the videos, like pictures, and just different ideas. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to share a lot of this stuff on websites and social media. We'll make it a whole community endeavor, but be creative. Think about how you can capture people's imaginations, stand ahead of the crowd. And then, number 6, updates. I really like what David said about continuing to follow people up. It's not just enough to give people one email. You need to update them. And actually update them on how you're doing. I'm now at 20% of my target. Or I am now running for 5 minutes unbroken. I am now out of the hospital. Whatever it is. But updating people on how you're doing, engaging them in your story, your journey, your process. It's so helpful. People want to go along with you. We want to make this something that we're including people in. It's not just give me your money, thank you, you're done. But it's look, journey with me as I journey on this adventure. And update people. How are you doing? How's Love Running itself doing? How's the thing going? Keep updating people. And then finally, persistence. People really do want to give. Put your hand up if you want to make a difference to the poverty that you see in the world. Okay, look around you. Keep your hands up and look around you. Okay, you're representative of the general population. People want to give. People want to make a difference. But sometimes you have to be persistent. Case in point. We had 150 people signed up for Love Running with a week to go before main registration ended. When main registration ended, we had 500 people signed up. But there was a certain amount of persistence in sending out emails and text messages, and I just thought, it's not going to happen. And a bunch of people came around me and said, look, stick with it. Put your hand up, by the way, if you registered on the last Sunday. Okay. My doctor would like to speak with you. Seriously, we need to be persistent. People don't ever respond to the first email, and they don't usually respond to the second email. By the third email, they really want to respond, but they haven't quite got round to it. It's the fourth, the fifth, the sixth email, and you have to persist. If you don't, then you miss out on helping them give what they really want to give. They want to give. You're doing them a favor. You're helping them. You're being the most wonderful friend, neighbor, or colleague you can be by helping them give to you. That's the truth. So persist. Okay, here's the deal. We have these it's virgin money giving, so it's not just giving this time. We're changing that. So if you've done Love Running in the past, we're going with virgin money giving because we don't pay any commission. And in the past, we've paid several £1,000s commission. And we reckon now that these things are now well enough known and well enough trusted that it's worth our while to switch. So what I will do is I will send you an email and we'll put something on the website that tells you exactly how you can get your page started. David already went on, and Adam and other people like that. If you know that it's virgin money giving, you can go on there, you can do a search for Love Running, we'll pop up, and you can just start your page. But for the rest of us that need a little bit of help, we'll tell you how to go about that. Okay, next one. Medals. We are going to give you medals. And when I say medals, I mean metaphoric medals. A metaphoric medal. Now, you've already said that you're going to go for the minimum sponsorship target of 120. If you don't make it, no one's going to break your door down and kneecap you, but it's something to aim for. We believe it's possible. The average Love runner raises over £200 per runner. So 120 is the baseline, but the bronze medal, if you get above 120, is £200. You will get the kudos of being a Love Running bronze medal winner with £200 raised. If you raise £300, you are silver. If you raise £500, you are gold. And if you raise £1,000, you're platinum. Here's something. I had an idea. Last time we did Love Running, they gave us this. This is a torch from the Olympic Games. It came in recognition of the incredible thing that Love Running had done in Bristol. Oh yeah, there it is. Now, you get £1,000, you get the torch. Limited time only. Actually, wouldn't it be fun if we did an Olympic torch relay? So the first person to get £1,000, you can have the torch in your house until the next person to raise £1,000 get it, and then you pass that torch to them. And then the next person to raise £1,000, and no cooperatives. I might consider husband and wife, but yeah, I don't know. It was just an idea that we had because this thing is a symbol. It means that just like your T-shirt, you're running not for yourself, but you're running for something bigger, for something better. And this thing is just a symbol, but I'd love to share it with you. So if you would like to be one of the people to have the Olympic torch, get me £1,000. Job done. Okay? Is that a fun thing to do, or is it a little bit over the top? I don't know. I was thinking, should I do this? It's my torch. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes of how to get the most out of Love Running, and then we're going to quit. Okay, so very quickly, let's just run through these. First of all, you've got your discount card. That will get you 10% offers in Up and Running, 10% offers in Moti, and 10% offers in Easy Runner. Each of those shops will also give you special deals. And in your pack, you've got details of those. So make sure that you take advantage of those things because they're the professionals and they'll give you the right gear. Secondly, we're going to communicate with you using the website. And these talks will be posted to the website in the next couple of days. And I will send you out an email once a week, roughly speaking. If you don't receive an email from me, it means it's going to your junk mail, and I am absolutely insulted. So check out emails from admin@loverunning.org. Add us to the list. But we will do that, and maybe every now and again there'll be a text as well if there's one particular thing, like, hey, we're all going to turn up at the park run. Let's make it this Saturday, okay? So we will communicate with you. Thirdly, we want to use social media. Katie, where's Katie? Wave, shout. Yeah, she's there at the back in the red, right by the railings at the back. That's Katie, she's waving. She is our social media officer. And so we are going to use Twitter, we're using Facebook, and we're using other means of social media where we can find a space, get into the conversation, share tips, share stories, share pictures, get into it, and encourage one another. Fourthly, there's going to be, as well as the physical training guides, there's going to be some spiritual training guides. These will launch probably at the beginning of April. A series of videos and interactive things that you can do as part of a kind of life training deal, where we look at some of the spiritual things that Nick Rose talked about, some of the kind of the well-being aspects of running and how to get the most out of your holistic training. We're going to have some kind of post-race party. At the moment, we're just negotiating with the council. In the past, we've done events on Queen Square. We've also done hog roast on College Green. We've also done balls here in church. We're going to do something like that. It'll either be something directly after the race where we'll eat a pig, or it's going to be something a few days later where we'll dance and have bands and things like that. Something will happen. It'll all be taken care of because it's all part of the runner's privilege. You earn your T-shirt, I'll give you a pig, okay? And then finally, we'll use different services, particularly here at Woodlands, to show some of the videos and to keep you updated and keep this thing in people's minds. And particularly in some of the churches, we're going to have a post-race celebration service where we'll have charity representatives, we'll give them a big cardboard check, and we'll all wear our medals, look dashing, and celebrate together. But we'll tell you all about those as we go along. I would like to do two things. I think, first of all, I would like to tell you that all you need, really, is love. That's all you really need. At the end of the day, some of us are going to do great with our running, and some of us are going to do exceptional, and some of us are kind of just going to get through. But really, it's all about the love. So that's the first thing I want to leave you with. The second thing is, I'd like us just to pray and dedicate this to God. Now, not everyone here is used to church, but I think it's appropriate that we just pray and dedicate this whole thing to God and ask for his help. So why don't you join me? Dear God, I thank you that you're the running Father who runs towards a lost and broken world. I thank you, Jesus, that you're called the forerunner who runs ahead of us. And for the joy that's set before him, he endures the pain. I thank you, Holy Spirit, that you're the one that fills us and empowers us so that our hearts are moved with compassion for a world in need. And I pray that you'd help us as we embark upon this adventure, and that you'd use us, encourage us. Lord, help us to get fit, get friends, and change the world. Okay, all you need is love. We're going to play out with a little retrospective on love running through the years. So enjoy it, sing along, get your pack if you haven't already, get some more sweets, and we'll see you very soon.